So my name is Peter Grant. I'm the CEO of CloudApps, and we have a product called Sumo, which stands for Success Through Motivation. CloudApps was founded 4 years ago. We've got about 250 customers and counting, and most of the original founders are ex-Salesforce.com employees. And there are two reasons why we founded CloudApps. One is we wanted to build innovative applications and services on the Salesforce.com platform to motivate behavioural change of the app usage. And secondly, we knew the platform really well. With 5 million users and counting and growing at 30% per annum, is an easy addressable market for us. Okay. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, hopefully bring together some of the previous two speakers, what they were talking about, but really about the use of applications. It's okay building applications, but if people don't use them, then you're not going to get your return on investment. My background, ex-Salesforce MD, ex-Global Account Director at Siebel, worked at Oracle, etc., some of my partners there. And what you saw is, doesn't matter how good the applications are, it's really a human behavioural science of why people aren't using certain applications. So if you think about a sales process and CRM and Salesforce are our sponsors today, what is the motivation to put a lead into the system? Why should they put their activities there? Why should they convert the lead? Why should they put the competitive information into the system? And what we're really dealing with is this clash of behavioural science and effectively business processes. And we sort of looked towards the gaming industry. And you've got this term called gamification, bloody awful word, if I'm quite frank with you, but it's how the market gets defined. And it came from the 1980s at looking at video game designers and how they motivated people to use games. And they use things like leveling systems, badges, teams playing together, leaderboards and everything else as well. And really that's what we're doing. So the definition of gamification is to use game mechanics, which I'll explain a bit more in a moment, to engage and motivate employees to solve business problems effectively. But I think picking up on some of Accenture's points here is really important, is we're changing in the workplace as well, in the way that we want to work, when we want to work, and how we want to work. And we need to realise it's not like the 1950s and 60s after the war, when the military were taking over companies and telling us what to do, and we're effectively treated like mushrooms. With the advent of Facebook and Twitter, the user's in control now. It's a user-driven economy. They would do things, they would bring their own devices, they're used to sharing information, etc. And they expect to have that same experience in the workplace as well. So really you're building applications for a market of one. So how do we do that with gamification? Well, gamification is all about game mechanics, and the mechanics are the levers that you can pull to motivate people that are often greater than money. So anybody here fly with British Airways? Yeah? Everybody here have a blue card? Yeah? Silver? Bronze? Gold? Right? That's your status of your relationship that you have with BA. So the more you fly with BA, the more money you spend with them, they reward you by putting you into a levelling system effectively. So you don't queue at the airport, you go through security faster, you go to the lounge, they give you free drinks, they might upgrade you. That's just one form of a game mechanic. Everybody here's on LinkedIn. Yeah? LinkedIn, it always says fill out your education, your work history, link to more people, make more contacts, get recommendation. It uses a progression bar to do that. Another form of a game mechanic. Look at eBay, a good eBayer, a bad eBayer, you get the stars and ratings, another form of game mechanic. But that's your reputation of what you like to deal with from a gaming point of view. Look at leaderboards. Leaderboards have been in sales for years, haven't they? You walk in, you write up on the whiteboard who's top today for number of calls, how many deals they've made, do it for the end of the week, do it for the end of the month and everything else. All you're doing with game mechanics is effectively digitizing that and making it in real time. So it's instantaneous as soon as it happens. So you've got that cadence for the use of the application. So to give you a couple of examples, we've got clients of 50 users going up to 250,000 users that are using it to drive the investment. And you're seeing a really interesting usage of the systems because they're being rewarded for the amount of data they're filling in or for effectively following a business process as well. So why do we do this? We do this because we want to be successful. Success is relative. You need to be able to measure your success, and that's effectively where the leaderboards come in or the leveling systems are. We like to feel socially connected. We like to feel valued. So we like to collaborate. That's where the collaboration technology like Chatter is extremely effective. We like to feel smart. I think we all think we're smart in this room here today. But if you do something clever, if you do something that adds value to the business, do you get recognized for it? So 76% of people in the US, in the top 1,000 companies in 2012, that voluntarily left the organisation, left because they didn't feel recognised by the company and their direct bosses. Yeah, and you need to pick up that recognition because we are competing for talent. We need to retain talent and we need to attract top talent to our organisations as well. And then finally, it's about structure. If you think only 10% in the US of the money they spend on training of 168 billion a year is actually retained, by the people receiving the training. It's only $16 billion of the money. Now, some of us Europeans might argue that 10% is a bit high for the Americans, but only 10% is retained by them. So you want to make sure that training is sustainable, it's fun, and it's engaging with the employees as well. So what's really happening is with the gamification, you're driving this usage, but then you're driving data, as my two previous speakers have been talking about as well. And through driving that data, you're actually driving someone's reputation. So the reason why I asked you to put your hands up for what card you were for BA is to say, what is your status, right? That's your reputation with BA effectively, yeah? But when you start using badging in a business process, how good are you at qualifying leads, converting, closing deals, customer satisfaction, solving trouble tickets, marketing campaigns, whatever it may be, that's your reputation as an employee. And the reason why reputation is really important is it's the first currency that we ever had. Before money came along, we lent things, we borrowed things, we did things based on reputation, and that was contained. But today, everything's online, everything's accessible, you can see people's reputation. And because of that, we would defend our reputation and use it as a currency to negotiate a pay rise, a new job, a promotion, or whatever it may be. So, taking on a very quick journey here in 10 minutes. Where do we think we can go with this, with what we call the reputation economy? It's all into different types of applications as well. So it's not just into the CRM applications, but it is in some of the stuff that Ben was talking about with the timesheets, with filing expenses. Who here files their expenses on time every single time? Nobody, right? One person, right? Well done. One person, but from a P&L point of view and cash flow, it doesn't help the CFO if we're not putting our expenses in and seeing where our liability is. But you can also look at communities. So lots of stuff we're doing is an extension of the internal user to the communities. So going from 250,000 to a deal we're working at the moment for 4 million users, all in the partner ecosystem within Salesforce. And there are other areas that you can take this as well. So we're a horizontal application where effectively you can apply the game mechanics. Thank you very much.